What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. We are of course still in FUT Champs season because of the Team of the Year and what was going on during that. It took me a little bit longer to get out the FUT Champs gameplay this week, but hopefully this weekend coming we'll be able to get it out a little bit quicker. But we've got the final 15 games today. We are currently 21 wins and 4 losses. You can see there I'm starting to clear the club out a bit, starting to sell a few players. You know, once we got that Ibra, it put us back to pretty much ground zero for coins. We've got the team that we've got. We've got a few consumables, like by way of fitness cards and stuff, but we don't really have that much available to us. So it was time to clear out all the dead wood, get as many coins back as we can for it. The team on the screen is what we're going to be going into games with today, and basically looking forward to just generating a whole bunch more coins again. You know, we had like a revolving coin balance of anywhere from 400,000 to 600,000 up until the last few weeks. Then I cleared everything out. I sold a lot of big stuff and kept hold of a lot of rewards, and we got up to 2 million coins. After we got to 2 million coins, we ended up buying obviously the Modric and the Marcelo. So I put our coins back down. I then discarded and quick sold and sold a lot of players. Kind of wish I didn't do that now. Like if I'd have known that the new SBCs were coming out, I wouldn't have done that, because some of those players I would have discarded are now worth 2 to 3k, where they were literally worth like 700 to 800 coins before, and some of them were worth like 1,500 coins. The common cards, the common cards I was discarding for like 300 coins that now will sell for 900 to 2,000 coins. So, you know, in that sense, I kind of missed out a little bit on some money. But those are the risks you take. You know, that's what this is about. It's about just finding our feet with this and trying to find the right way around things. And because this is a brand new year and the market and the game in general is so different to what it has been before with SBCs and with FUT Champs, it's really hard to say this happened last year, so this will also happen this year, because it's just not like that this year. So you've got to take that, you've got to try and find your feet and take the risks, and that's what I've been doing. I've been taking a lot of risks, trying to figure out what's going on with the game. And as I said to you guys in the last video, my aim over the next sort of week or two is to really study the market and figure out what happens with what, why, how and where, so that I can really start generating a lot of coins. My aim in terms of the team is to get Team of the Year Sergio Ramos as quick as possible. That is kind of my next big purchase that I'll be making. Of course, in 2 weeks' time, we've got a stipulation in FUT Champs where you're only allowed a maximum of 5 players from one league, including the bench. So because we've got the red Nainggolan, we're going to basically be using, I'm going to go Ibra, Hazard, Costa, and probably Martial at right forward, because then he'll get 7 chem and give although I'm going to need a link to Costa. I don't know what I'm going to, maybe Willian, although he won't get the link either. I don't know what I'm going to do at right forward, if I'm honest. I might go Martial at left forwards. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we're gonna have Modric, Marcelo, and either Ramos or Pepe the left side. I'm going to have Nainggolan, Florenzi, and Manolas on the right side, and then basically a BPL attack, and then a bench, just whatever suits the need. So there's a lot to think about before just going in and spending money for Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos went down to about 850k. He's now back up to about 1 million, maybe 1.1 million, depending on the time of day. And these Team of the Years are probably only going to get rarer and more expensive, specifically the affordable ones. And the reason for that is because, like with FUT Champs, like there is going to be no better Sergio Ramos card. There may be a better Team of the Season version. We've had issues in the past, or instances rather in the past, where, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo got a 98 Team of the Year, then a 99 Team of the Season. But I think if they have any space left in their card, they will get a Team of the Season under the Team of the Year. So, for example, with Sergio Ramos, he's got a 96 card, he's got a 90 inform. It's very unlikely that he'll get 5 informs between now and the end of the season before getting a Team of the Season, which will likely be a 95. So, for someone like Sergio Ramos, this is going to be the best card he's going to get all year. So if you're a fan of Sergio Ramos, if you have Sergio Ramos in your team and you play FUT Champs and you generate coins, eventually you're going to be able to afford that 1 million coins. So you're going to buy a Sergio Ramos, and then you are never going to sell that Sergio Ramos. So that's now one of them off the market forever. And what that does is it decreases the supply, because there is no more cards coming out of packs of these types. But the demand is still there for everyone wanting him. And eventually, when they can afford him, again, because of the huge rewards that we get from FUT Champs, eventually people are going to be able to afford that card. You know, right now I've got 50,000 coins. I would say it will probably only take me around 2 to 3 weeks with some good fortune in packs, some good weekend leagues in FUT Champs, and some good sales from Bronze Pack Method. It will take me 2 to 3 weeks to make 1 million coins, which is nuts, because last year in FIFA, I would say it would take me 2 to 3 months to make 1 million coins rather than 2 to 3 weeks. But this time around, they're going up, man. They're just going up. They're becoming rarer and rarer. And what you're going to see is eventually, in my opinion, they're just going to start going extinct. Because as I say, if you like them, especially if you don't believe in handicap, and if you believe that a player plays as good as their cards suggest they play, you know, eventually everyone's going to be able to afford Marcelo, and everyone's going to be able to afford Modric, and everyone's going to be able to afford Sergio Ramos and Toni Kroos and Andres Iniesta and Gerard Piqué. Not that I think Piqué is actually an elite player in this game. His stamina is super low, his pace is super low, and on other defenders you can put chem styles to boost the what we're talking about, defending stats to the same as PK's with a chem style on anyway. So I think PK is actually the worst. I think PK is even worse than Kroos. And I know people don't like the look of Kroos because of his pace, but he feels and plays amazing. I've used him on my main account and he feels great. So yeah, I don't know. For me, the next purchase is that Sergio Ramos, but I need to get there quick for the finances, because otherwise, today he's going to be 1 to 1.1 million, and in a week he'll be 1.1 to 1.2, and in 3 weeks, when I manage to get up to 900,000 or 1 million coins, he'll be 1.3, and I'll always be chasing to a point where I could probably invest the coins better elsewhere. At least that's my theory on the matter. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe he comes down in price. Maybe everyone decides they hate him, they all sell him, and he crashes to 600k. That would be fantastic. But that's not of my opinion. Now, the gameplay you're seeing, guys, as I say, I was 21-4 when we came in to the last 15 games. I ended up losing 6 of my next 15 games, and I believe I lost all 6 of them in like a 10-game period, or at least 5 of them in a 10-game period. I think I went, out of 11 games, I think I went 5 wins and 6 losses. Basically, I was playing very bad. It was nothing to, and I showed match stats at the end, because even the games in which I picked up wins, I wasn't playing good. I was getting outplayed constantly, and it wasn't because my team was playing bad, and it wasn't because of the servers or because of any lag or anything like that. I was triggered so hard, and I don't know why. I got angry at this FIFA this weekend in this game period, more angry than I've been in FIFA for many, many years. Like I used to rage hard at FIFA in FIFA 14 and FIFA 15. Toned it down a lot in FIFA 16. I tried to start, like, you know, making amends for my bad play and becoming a better player. And in FIFA 16, although I still get frustrated at the game from time to time, like everyone does, I never got this angry in FIFA 16. I was so angry for the simple fact that I was playing bad. I was making silly mistakes. For example, this game here. Okay, the kit glitch is there. Like, it's not a glitch, sorry. The kit, like, clash is there. And instantly it's my fault because I wasn't paying attention when selecting kits. I could quite easily have picked my red kit. We wouldn't have a problem here. I went 1-0 up in this game, and I was controlling this game until I went 1-0 up, and then I just lost control of the game. I don't know why. I don't know what he changed or what happened, but I lost control of the game. And I bought Perisic, by the way, for 53,000 coins. I was supposed to show it. I realised I didn't. I literally just bought him for... he looked great and he was super cheap, so I thought, let me pick him up. But I ended up losing this game 4-2, and it's a game I should have won. And I lost this game because of mistakes that I made throughout the start of the game to the end of the game. And that was what was angering me the most, is that I was making mistakes. I was just... And not just like, you know, silly mistakes here or there. I was making like catastrophic errors. Trying to pass it out of play. Over the last few weeks, I've spent a lot of time trying to analyse where my errors lie, so that I can fix them and not do that anymore. One of the biggest problems I've had in recent weeks is trying to throw it quickly with my goalkeeper and end up giving the ball away straight away and just conceding goals. So I've stopped that. One of the other things that I used to do would be to pass it or dribble it out of defence when I'm under heavy pressure. So I'd stop that. I'd stop taking like unnecessary shots from 35, 40 yards out just because I had a guy who had good long shots. Like when I had Rooney in the team, I just used to take long shots all the time, and it wasn't healthy for the team because all I ended up doing was either missing the long shot or just giving possession back to the opponent, and that was bad, so I stopped that. But this period of games, even though I was 21-4 coming in, all of those things came rushing back to me. I started started playing stupid. I started throwing it out from the goalkeeper. I started giving up silly possession in my own defensive third. I started panic defending and panic attacking like never before. And it was horrendous. And some of the games that I won that were tough, man. Like, I think this game, I didn't even look at the match stats. This dude had good shots, a lot of shots. He had more possession. I managed to sneak a win. There are games that I deserve to lose in FUT Champs, and this weekend alone, I think there were about 5 games that I just absolutely deserve to lose, which is the most that I feel like I've deserved to lose in a long time. Quite often, I feel like I only deserve to lose 2 or 3, and I feel like I let myself down in the rest of them. But right here, guys, this weekend, there were 5 games where I just got tanked. And that's okay. I don't get angry when I just get slapped, because if someone's just that much better than me, credit to them. You know, they've obviously worked hard to get to where they are, and they deserve the victory. But this, I was ready to rage quit there. You see me, I was honestly ready to dashboard. I was ready to just be like, you know what, screw this, I'm out. I didn't, because that's just not me. I don't rage quit games. I think I've only ever rage quit 1 game of FIFA, like actually rage quit 1 game of FIFA in my life, and that was against Finch back in like FIFA 15 or FIFA 14. Sometimes I quit when you know, if I was like 4-0 down in a game that wasn't relevant and there's only 10 minutes left, sometimes I would just forfeit that match, and I wouldn't call it a rage quit. It's just because there's no point wasting time. But I didn't end up rage quitting this one. However, it was lucky, but I felt like Elite was slipping away. You know, I was 21-4. All I had to do was go 13-2 over my last 15 games, which is definitely manageable. You know, I've definitely got that in me for me to get Elite 1. Or alternatively, just go 11-4 to get Elite 2, which obviously is the extra 30,000 coins, which whilst going for that Sergio Ramos would be very, very helpful. But I just threw it away, and I don't know, I have no reasoning as to why I was playing so bad, other than I was, everything I talk about, because I say to you guys, don't let the previous game bother you in the next game, and don't let what has happened bother you going forwards. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was going into a game, like, I was shushing this guy because I was angry at me losing the other game. This guy didn't do anything to deserve me shushing him. I was playing so angry, and because it was Sunday night, I couldn't take a break. Like, I was tweeting that, oh, you know, I've lost another game, and I've lost another game. People are like, oh, take a break, man. What break? If I take a break, I'll be coming back on Monday. The FUT Champs will be over. There was, you know, it was still Team of the Year. There was no time to take a break, unfortunately. So I had to keep playing through whilst angry. I eventually made it to Gold 1. I was so tempted to stop playing here because I'd only got 4 wins and I think 4 losses. We were 21-4. I believe we were now 25-8, right? 8 games left. So we were 25-7. So I went from 21-4 to 25-7. And I just thought, you know what? I've got 8 games left. The absolute best I can get to now is 32 wins, is it? 5, 6, 7, 33 wins. So Elite had gone out the window. Elite 1 anyway. The way I was playing, I was like, I'm never going to get to Elite 2. Maybe I just want the 2 100k packs. And I was so tempted to just give up and stop playing. And then I lose a game like this, right? So I lost that game. I dominated that game. And he got 1 attack. It wasn't his only attack, but he got an attack. I don't know why, and I show the replays in this, I do not know why David De Gea parried that shot. There was no good reason to parry that shot. That shot was coming in really slow. He was there on the ball. There's, like, he could just catch that. Alternatively, he could just leave it and Marcelo's there. I don't know why he parried it. Like, even when editing it and even watching it now, it's angering me because there's no good reason for him to parry this shot. Look, I've got Marcelo there covered. Okay, there's a man at the far post, but look at him. He's there. What's he parrying that for? There's no reason to parry that. He's got more than... He can just catch it, gather it in, and we don't concede. And that was the goal that won the game. And you can see by the match stats were quite even there. But I remember that game heavily. And I was in a comfortable position in that game. So I'd lost another game, and I was just getting so triggered, guys. I was getting so triggered. I don't know how I managed to pull myself out of it, but I ended up picking up 30 wins this weekend. So, you know, 21-4 to 30-10. Yeah, I went 9-6 in my last 15 games. That is not good enough. If I'd have gone maybe 11-4, I'd have been way happier. 32 wins, no problem. But 9-6 is just not okay. And although you will see me take a few losses that I deserve to take, as I say, like I did get battered a lot this weekend, and I don't mind that. There was at least 5, maybe as many as 6 wins that 6 losses that I lost just because I just wasn't good enough, you know. And that's okay, but I was getting so frustrated at the way I was playing FIFA, guys, man. And you'll see in the gameplay how it's just not good gameplay. And you know, I was thinking to myself, maybe it's the team. Maybe putting Ibra into the midfield was bad. Maybe that was the wrong thing. But Ibra actually played amazing. Ibra was really good. There was nothing wrong with him. The biggest problem was just me playing stupid. But anyway, I've got some comments, guys. Amir Maliji, no, we already read that one in the last video. Steve Terhor says, Nep, why is Fabregas a walkout and a Rakitic not? Both centre mid, but Rakitic is high rated. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how EA decided who is a walkout or not. It seemed like they initially said, when the game first came out, that it was like 50 players were walkouts and it was like the best players in their positions. So I would have assumed that that would have been like the best 2 strikers, the best 2 left wings, the best 2 right wings. And then like in terms of like Mkhitaryan, you know, he's a walkout because there's not many, I think only Robben is the higher rated right mid than him, like as an actual right mid. So I figured that's why Mkhitaryan is a walkout, because he is the second highest rated right mid. But you're right, with Fabregas, I don't understand why... I think, aren't they both 87s though? Is Fabregas an 86 or an 87? I can't remember. But yeah, I genuinely don't understand how the walkouts work. As you can see here, guys, we've got 26 wins on the board and 6 matches remaining. Now, from my last 6 games, I actually picked up 4 wins and 2 losses, which isn't too bad. But I was sitting here contemplating whether or not I was actually going to make it to Elite. You know, I needed 3 wins from 6 games, and I'd only got, I think, 5 wins from my last 10 games, or something similar to that. You know, maybe 4 wins from my last 9 games. So I was like in a situation where I was just like, I'm not going to do this. I'm literally going to be in a position where I needed 8 wins from 15 games to get Elite, and I'm going to buckle it. Fortunately, as you well know, because you know, title and we've spoken about it, I did manage to push through towards the back end and got through my bad spell and started scoring goals and started playing good FIFA again. But it was frustrating, man. Next comment is from Senan O'Neill. It says, hey Nep, like the series, just wondering if you think the game time should be changed from 6-minute halves to 4-minute half, because of playing 40 games in a weekend it takes over 10 hours, which isn't healthy. Therefore, EA are promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. I don't think they'll change the amount of time per game, and I don't want them to. I like 6 minutes per half. But I don't necessarily disagree with you. They are promoting a very unhealthy lifestyle. They're promoting something that tries to encourage people to waste a 3-day period of just sitting indoors playing FIFA. You know, FUT Champs is competitive. I get that. Well, I say competitive, like it's the competitive game mode within FIFA. I don't think it's competitive gaming. I don't think it's an esport, because there's just too much wrong with the game for that to be considered. But yeah, FUT Champs is the competitive game mode within EA, you know, within FIFA. And I understand that with that, and with the prizes that are awarded, that you have to put the time in to warrant deserving those prizes. But I think 40 games is just too much. Remember when it was 40 games for I think for the first 4 weeks, it was over a 48-hour period. It was just Saturday at 1 a.m. it started, and Monday at 1 a.m. it stopped. So you literally just had Saturday and Sunday to play your games, 40 games, and it was genuinely unhealthy. You know, it was bad. EA added a 3rd day. But the problem they've done with adding the 3rd day is, for a lot of people, like, they may as well have not added the 3rd day, because it starts at 7 a.m. on Friday, which is, if you're like a college student or a school student, or if you have a job, you get up, you go to work, you don't get back till Friday night, sometimes 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Even if you get back early on a Friday, 6, 7 p.m, you've only got actually 5 hours more than before it started initially, right? And it stops at Monday at 7 a.m. So if you were able to play anyway until Monday at 1 a.m, those 6 hours you're typically going to be sleeping. So I think, and obviously that's UK and mainland Europe. For USA it's a little bit different, but I think they've added an extra day, and it's the worst timing possible. I don't understand why they added it, how they added it. It would be better served if they had the 72-hour period from Friday at 6 p.m. until Monday at 6 p.m. That way people could play Friday evening, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, or up to Monday, you know, Monday lunch and Monday 6 p.m. I think personally that's a better time frame. But overall, even now with 3 days to play 40 games, it's a struggle. It's a lot of time invested. As you say, it's like 10 hours, man. Like, and if you go extra time and penalties a lot, potentially 12 or 14 hours. On top of the fact that you have to do daily duties, you know, you have to live your life, you've got things going on. EA are really limiting people to how many games they can play. And I know that FUT Champs is a situation where, you know, if you can only play 20, then just play 20. You'll still get rewards for playing 20 games. And yeah, that's true. You will still get rewards for playing 20 games. But to make it competitive, to make it more fair, because I think they do want fairness within FUT Champs. I personally believe 30 games would be ideal. 30 games with top 100 obviously being the top 100. Elite 1, make Elite 1 28 wins, make Elite 2 26 wins, and make Elite 3 25 wins. So you've got to win 25 out of 30 to get Elite into Elite, right? I think that's fair. Gold 1 down to, maybe 22 wins. Gold 2, 20 wins. Gold 3, still the same 18 wins. And then Silver and Bronze the same. Make it really difficult, to get into the Elite categories, but make less games. Because 10 games a day is manageable. It's not ideal still, or 30 games over 3 days is way more manageable, especially if you break it up. Like if maybe you get home from school on a Friday night, you play 4 or 5 games, you go out with your mates, you get home, play another couple of games. Boom, all of a sudden you've already done 7 games. You're almost a third of the way through with your whole weekend to go. However, right now as it stands, if you play 7 or 8 games, you're not even a quarter of the way through and you've only got your whole weekend to go. So yeah, I would personally appreciate less games per weekend. It's going to be so hard. Like, we're 3 months into this FIFA cycle. I think, what is this? This is like week 16 or 17 of FUT Champs. So we're almost 4 months into this. We're almost 5 months into this FUT cycle, right? So with that being said, I've played nearly five consecutive months of FUT Champs where I'm giving up my whole weekend. And I don't know if I want to do it the whole year. I don't know if I want to sit there through January, through February, through March, through April, May, June, and July, probably some of August as well, giving up every weekend of my life to play FIFA. Now, I know FIFA is my job, and this is me saying I don't want to give up all that time when it's my job, when it's my livelihood, when it's how I earn my money. And it's a game, and I'm blessed to be in a situation. But even me, I'm saying this is too much. This is too much games, too much FIFA. And I don't know why. I don't think EA have thought it through properly. But they've been open to change. They've been open to discussion. They've already increased the day. They've changed the way qualifying works. They've changed the prize structure a couple of times. I still think that needs work. They've fixed things like they've now removed the established date. The kit screen is fixed. They're taking measures to make this the best experience that you can get. So with that in mind, who knows what will come of going forwards? Next up, we've got Edgar Yamaguchi. Says, "Hi Nep, I just qualified for FUT Champs after an age of trying and failing. This is my first time and I don't know what to expect. What are your biggest tips? I don't have many coins, around 200k, so I can't make a super team to help. I can only rely on my gameplay. So do you have any useful tips for me? Thanks, love the series and keep up the good work." Like this comes from me, saying these tips as someone who doesn't always follow them myself. And I would always perform better if I followed my own tips. Tip number 1 is take every game at face value. Do not go into a game after losing or winning a game assuming that things are going to be the same, because you've got to remember that the next game you go into, you're playing against a different opponent and it's a new game. Everything's different. It's not going to be the same. If you just smash some guy with the super team 3-0 the game before, and now you come up against another guy with the super team and you're like, oh, I'm smashing super teams, and then you lose, you're going to get frustrated and it's going to dictate the way you play. Don't let your emotions cloud the play that the gameplay that you have, because that's just a recipe for disaster, as I've shown in this very video. Other than that, just make sure you abuse the game mechanics to the best of your ability. Make sure you don't panic defend. Make sure you can take the losses on the chin, even undeserved losses. Just try and remember that it is just a game. There are errors in every game, always. There are times where you're going to lose games that you deserve to not lose and win games that you deserve to not win. You've just got to take them on the chin and remember that it is just a game. It's not that deep, I get so angry at this game, and then afterwards I'm like, damn man, did I really just get angry at a game like that? It's crazy. But yeah, it's not that deep, So make sure that you keep your mind clear of grief from FIFA, and you will just be a much better player. And just stay calm, man. Mentality is so much in this FIFA, and if you're able to stay calm and just play through the nonsense, because there's a lot of nonsense in this game. Like that game before where De Gea parried that out and it got a rebound, because it was late in the game, I was unable to change it. I was unable to get back into the game. It was too late, right? The game was over. And that's a game where the match stats indicated the game was even. So even on the basis of the match stats, you would say that game could have gone either way. And some genuine nonsense cost me that game. I still don't believe that's scripting. I believe if that play was made in the 12th minute, De Gea still would have parried it out and he still would have got a goal. But in the 12th minute, I would have more than enough time to come back. But because it was late on, I didn't have enough time. So accept those losses and just be like, well, never mind. Next time, next time I'll do something different or something better to make sure I'm never in that position again. And try and learn from your mistakes, because that's not what I did this weekend league. Next comment is from Gio Lago Gaming. It says, hey Nep, I enjoy your Road to Glory a lot. Today I bought Neymar for my team. Do you think this is a bad choice? And if you do, when is the best time to buy players after the Team of the Year? I actually think the best time to buy players would have been through the weekend of Team of the Year. I bought Perisic for 53k. You'll see in the next video I sold him for 59k. Currently he is selling for, he was well up over like 70k I think. He is currently 70,000 coins, 75,000 coins. There's one listed for 70k, the next one's like 74k. So, after Team of the Year, everyone's selling everything they've got, everything they've stored, everything they've earned. They've opened all the packs. Now players aren't being packed. There's no packs being opened. So when people play FIFA and use SBCs and stuff like that, like the market is going to start deteriorating heavily in terms of the number of players that are on the market. And so with that, player prices are going to increase. I assume, I don't know for sure, and the reason why I don't know for sure is because this is a brand new game. I said it earlier, it's hard to predict the market this year because there's nothing to go by with history. There's nothing to say, oh, this will happen, because there's so many different things, so many new things. What a goal that was, by the way. With that in mind, I don't know. I would say, as good a time as any is now to buy your players, because I believe personally they're just going to continually get higher and higher in price up to a point where the demand and the supply is leveled out. And I don't think we're at that point yet. So I do think there's still some increase in price to go. But I also believe that if you bought during the weekend of Team of the Year, you did good. For example, I've bought and sold Sergio Ramos how many times, guys, right? How many times? And I've always bought him and sold him for between 100 to 120,000 coins. Sergio Ramos is currently, the regular version, 140,000 coins. So I could have, if I had kept him, I could have made profit on him. And the reason why I could have made profit on him because he wasn't getting pulled during Team of the Year, because his blue card was in packs, and now no one's opening packs, so he's not really getting pulled now anyway. So his price is going to stabilize, and then when FUT Champs rewards start coming back in, the prices will start to snake down. But anyway, guys, I managed to get 30 wins this week. I wasn't impressed with my record. I know for a lot of people, 30 wins is an achievement and a dream that they can't really get to. I know a lot of people struggle to get out of gold and such, but for me, and for how we've done in this series previously, 30 wins is such a letdown. I'm really disappointed in myself this week. But anyway, guys, this is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.